day, students! We shall now have our first lesson, expressing oneself. Every individual needs to be well equipped with the tools to communicate effectively. If one speaks and listens well, then there is little or no scope of misunderstanding. Thus, keeping this fact in mind, the primary reasons for misunderstanding is the inability to speak well or listen effectively. Speaking is a productive skill. It could not be separated from listening. When we speak, we produce the text and it should be meaningful. Listening is vital to real communication because it is how we truly understand what the other person is communicating to us. It also allows us to ask questions if what the person is saying is not clear to us. While speech involves the physical motor ability to talk, language is a symbolic, rule-governed system used to convey a message. In English, the symbols can be words, either spoken or written. We also have gestural symbols, like shrugging our shoulders to indicate "I don't know," or waving to indicate "bye-bye," or the raising of our eyebrows to indicate that we are surprised by something. Speech and language are the most prominent cognitive functions distinguishing human beings from animals. Speech is the major medium of communication in the day-to-day experience. It is the tool that leads to mutual understanding and appreciation. Now let's discuss the nature and importance of communication. Communication is derived from the Latin word common, which means belonging to many or equally, and communico, which means to confer with others. It is the mutual exchange of information, ideas, and understanding by any effective means. Effective communication implies good or pleasant speech and requires a clear, adequate voice to be easily understood, accurate in the production of the individual sounds and in the selection of words. Communication is the key progress in advancement and in continuing to learn things more accurately and effectively. Oral communication is a cycle which always involves two persons or more, a decoder and an encoder, the message, the channel, and the feedback. Communication is the art of transmitting information, ideas, and attitudes from one person to another. Communication is the interaction of words in a society which gives pleasure and an increased understanding of life. Each person communicates with a message through one or more of his senses: taste, sound, sight, touch, or smell. There are 5 basic considerations for effective communication, or we call this prosodic features of speech. Loudness or volume of the voice. A well-modulated voice is an important attribute of an effective speaker. An effective voice must be as loud as the speaking situation requires. Pitch is the slope of the voice. We classify pitch as high, medium, or low. Intonation refers to the tone and accent of the voice. This is the variation in pitch levels and stress. It is the rise and fall of the voice, the combination of tunes on which we pronounce the syllable that makes up our speech. Duration, rate, or tempo refer to how fast or how slow words are uttered. The 3 rates in speaking are slow, average, and fast. To show solemnity, sorrow, or depression, one should speak slowly. Joy, elation, excitement, happiness, or anger should be spoken by a marked increase in rate. Important and intellectually significant words or phrases are pronounced more slowly and more emphatically. Quality. A According to Einstein, quality is the voice characteristic or voice timbre and voice attitude or voice color. It is closely related to mood and feeling as well. Based on your experiences as a student, how did speech and communication help you? For our words of wisdom, effective communication is 20% what you know and 80% how you feel about what you know. That's according to Jim Rohn. Word of the day, attenuate, which means to reduce or to lower. Used in the sentence, earplugs will attenuate the loud sounds of the machinery. See you in our next lesson. Good day, dear viewers. For today's session, we will talk about Greek literature, the glory that was Greece. The Greeks have been recognized as exceptional people, and they are known in history as the noble Greeks. Because of their attainments in literature, painting, sculpture, architecture, and philosophy, the term the glory that was Greece is particularly applicable to them. There are 5 qualities of Greek literature. First, permanence and universality. Greek literature has an enduring quality. It is as much alive today as it was more than 3,000 years ago when it was written. It has a universality that is truly remarkable, and it is read and admired by all nations of the world, regardless of race, religion, or culture. Second, essentially artistic. It is a product of people who purposely and conscientiously developed the physical and intellectual powers of man. Greek art is the highest form of classic art. The Greek mind became the foundation of the literature of the Western world, and its masterpieces afford the most splendid examples of artistic beauty and excellence that the world has ever known. The Greeks had such a great love of beauty that they surrounded themselves with beautiful objects. Their wares, their vases, and the baskets they used for bread were all conceived in beauty. It would seem that anything ugly struck them as a physical blow. Third, originality. The quality of originality does not mean that all literary types originated in Greece. The drama had been produced by the Egyptians, and narrative poetry had been cultivated in India. But the Greek mind had the supreme power of modifying and improving all that it touched. The philosophy and religion of the East they recast in molds of beauty in their mythology. The grotesque they soften into the graceful. The intricate and confusing they simplify. Fourth, diversity of talent. The Greek mind never rested complacently on one subject. It was never searching, ever seeking. It was fond of diversity of application. That is why all literary types were cultivated with a great degree of perfection. Fifth, intellectual quality. This means that the Greek mind challenges one to think and to do so for some purpose to bring about some inner transformation. After knowing the 5 qualities of Greek literature, answer this one focused question. Which quality or qualities may be considered enduring and why? That's all for today's session, guys. This is Teacher Anne saying, only the very weak-minded refuse to be influenced by literature and poetry. By Cassandra Clare. Word of the day, grotesque, which means comically or repulsively ugly or distorted. Used in the sentence, the rods are carved in the form of a series of gargoyle faces and grotesque. See you again next time! Like everything metaphysical, the harmony between thought and reality is to be found in the grammar of language. Good day, everyone. For today's lesson, we will talk about modals. Modal is a special type of auxiliary verb. It alters or completes the meaning of the main verb. Modal express ideas such as capacity, possibility, obligation, permission, prohibition, probability, supposition, request, and desire. They can also indicate the level of formality in the conversation. They do not take S for the third person singular. Main modal verbs are can, could, may, might, must, shall, will, should, ought to, and would. Can is one of the most commonly used modals in English. It can express ideas such as capacity, permission, or request. For example, she can speak French. The underlined modal can in the sentence is used to express capacity. Another example, he can come in now. The word can is used to express permission. Third example, can you lend me your pen, please? The word can in the sentence is used to express request, but it should always be with the word please. Could is a modal that expresses possibility, past ability, as well as suggestions and requests. Examples: extreme rain could cause the river to flood the city. The modal could in the sentence is used to express possibility. Another example: John could run very fast when he was younger. The modal could in the sentence is used to express past ability. Our indicator that this is a past ability is the clause when he was younger. Another function of the modal could is to express suggestion. It's evident in the sentence, we could go to an ice cream parlor or stay home and watch a movie. Could can also be used to express request. For example, could I use your cell phone for a moment? The modal may is commonly used to express possibility. It can also be used to give or ask permission. For example, Maria may be at school or at home. In this sentence, the modal may is used to express possibility. May he leave the room with me? This is used to ask permission. Yes, he may leave the room with you. The modal may in this sentence is used to give permission. The modal might is commonly used to indicate possibility. However, it can also be used to make suggestions or requests. This is a rare use though. For example, your backpack might be under the desk. The word might is used to express possibility. Another example, you might go to the temple during your visit. In this sentence, the modal might is used to express suggestion. One more, might I open the door? The word might here is used to mean request. This is according to British Standard. Must is a modal that can be used to talk about certainty. That is something you are almost sure is true. Moreover, it can be used to talk about obligation, prohibition, necessity, or strong recommendation. For example, she must be sick. She never gets late to school. In this example given, the modal must is used to express probability. Another example, students must pass an entrance examination to study at this school. The word must here is used to mean necessity. One more example, you must drink a lot of water to protect your voice. The modal must in this sentence is used to express strong recommendation. Another example, Sarah, you must always do your homework. In this sentence, the underlined modal must is used to express obligation. The modal shall. This indicates a future action. It is more commonly used with the first person singular and plural, I and we, often found in suggestions, promises, or predestinations. For example, shall we set the table? The word shall here is used as suggestion. In the example, I shall never leave your side, the word shall is used to express promise. Another example, she shall become our next queen. The word shall here is used to mean predestination. The modal will is more commonly used to talk about future situations. Nonetheless, it can also be used to talk about the present when we want to make a request. It is also used in situations in which we make instant decisions. Examples: I will call you later. The modal will in the sentence is used to express future action. In the example, will you close the window, please? The word will there is used to express request, but again, it should always be with the word please. I love that t-shirt. I'll take it. The modal will in this sentence is used to make instant decision. The modal should. This is more commonly used to give recommendations or advice. It can also be used to talk about obligation as well as expectation. Examples: when you have many classes, you should take a bottle of water with you. In this sentence, the word should is used to express recommendation. Another example: you should focus more on your assignments. In this sentence, the modal should is used to give an advice. One more example: I should be at work before 7 p.m. The word should here is used to express obligation. One more: at this moment, they should already be in New York. The word should is used to mean expectation. The modal ought to. It is used to give advice or make recommendations. It can also express assumption, expectation, or strong probability when the context implies that something is deserved. For example, she ought to stop eating red meat. The word ought to there is used to mean recommendation. Sam ought to get a promotion. This is used to mean expectation because he deserves it. Those apartments ought to increase in value due to the construction of the new mall. The word ought to there is used to express assumption. Would. This modal is more commonly used to create conditional verb tenses. In addition, it can be used to make offers, requests, and talk about past habits. For example, if I were you, I would not do that again. The word would there is used to express second conditional. Take note, if we use the word were, it should always be paired with the word would. The verbs were and would are in the subjunctive mood of the verb. So the word would is used to express second conditional. Another example, would you like some cake? The word would here is used to express offer. Would you turn down the volume, please? The word would in this sentence is used to express request, but with the word please. One more example. We would swim in the dam for hours when we were kids. This is used to express past habits. Our indicator that this is a past habit is the clause when we were kids. Other modals which can be used to make conditional sentences: could, might, will, and should. For example, I could have told you the truth if you had listened to me. Another example, if I knew her name, I might tell. And if I should see him, I'll give him the message. We end here for today, guys. And for our word of the day, impeccable, which means flawless or free from fault or blame. Used in the sentence, they were honored for their impeccable character, integrity, and exemplary service to our community. See you in my next video. Hi everyone! Today, we will learn about spelling. Some words are tricky to spell or are spelled so much differently from how they are pronounced. Such words can cause confusion. The standard spelling of words is fundamental in learning a language. It makes communication and reading easier. Here are tips on proper spelling. First, there are slight differences between the American English and the British English spellings. Look closely on the American and British English spellings. Color, labor, defense, organize, analyze, criticize, learned, airplane, center, inquire, inquiry. Before writing, think of your target audience. Whether you write using the American or British spelling of words, consistency in spelling should be given priority. A dictionary or spell checker will help you if you are unsure of a particular word. Second, there are English words that have variant or alternate spellings which are acceptable. However, you should consult the dictionary to help you decide which form to use. Usually, the main entry word in a dictionary shows the standard spelling, and the variant spellings of the word are indicated. For convenience and consistency, use the spelling of the entry word. Here are the examples of entry word in the dictionary and their variant spelling. Third, words with the letters I and E succeeding each other, such as receive, receipt, and deceive, are commonly misspelled. Remember then this simple rule. This may help you remember the correct spelling of those words. Fourth, in adding prefixes to words, the spelling of the root word does not change. Here are some examples. Fifth, English words with double letters are often misspelled. Be aware of those words and remember their correct spellings. A. Words with a single pair of double letters. Different, harass, illegitimate, occasion, parallel, personnel, profession, questionnaire, recommend, referred. Words with two pairs of double letters. Accommodate, aggression, committed, embarrass, happiness, millennium, occurrence, possession, success, succeed. There are English words that contain silent letters which are not pronounced when the words are read. Be aware of those words and remember their correct spellings. Here are some words with silent letters. Silent B, doubt, debt, subtle. Silent C, ascend, descend, convalescent. Silent G, align, foreign, sign. And that's all about spelling, guys. For today's words of wisdom, listen to the highest rhythm of all the elements and bring them into concert with your essential nature. Conduct your life accordingly. Word of the day, corrigendum, which means a printer's error or to be corrected. Used in the sentence, if you learn whole sentences with corrigendum instead of the word corrigendum by itself, you can learn a lot faster. This is Teacher Anne saying, life is nothing without passion. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and share this video.
In this video, we will learn about the correct use of punctuation marks. Punctuation is a system of symbols used to give structure to a text. It guides the reader on how the text should be read. Commonly used punctuation marks. Period. Period indicates a full stop or the end of a statement. When a statement ends with a word or a group of words enclosed in quotation marks, the period is placed within the quotation marks. Period is used in some abbreviations. Period is placed after numerals and letters in outlines and lists. Question mark ends a question. Question mark ends a question that is part of a sentence. Question mark indicates uncertainty about a fact. Exclamation point. Exclamation point ends a sentence that expresses strong emotion or an interjection. Exclamation point replaces a question mark in interrogative sentences to express strong emotion. Exclamation points are usually used in informal writing and should not be used in formal writing. Apostrophe. Apostrophe is used to indicate the possessive case of nouns. Apostrophe is used in place of the omitted letters in contractions. Apostrophe is used in some expressions like the following. Comma. Commas are used to separate words or phrases in a list or series. A comma is used to separate clauses in sentences. Commas are used to set off words or phrases that introduce examples or explanations. Colon. Colon introduces a list. Colon is used to introduce a quotation. Colon introduces a clause or a phrase that explains what comes before it. Semicolon. Semicolon is used to indicate a stop or break that is more grounded than a comma but it's not as strong as a period. Semicolon separates two clauses, one of which is introduced by a conjunctive adverb or a phrase acting like one. Semicolon separates items in series if they themselves are set off by commas. The common dash or M dash. The common dash or M dash can be used in place of a colon or a semicolon to connect clauses, the second of which explains or expands the first clause. The common dash or M dash can be used in place of a comma before words or phrases that introduce examples or explanations. The common dash or M dash may introduce a summary statement after a series of words or phrases. And that's all about punctuation marks. For today's words of wisdom, efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. That's according to Peter Drucker. Word of the day, diacritical, which means of a mark or a sign serving to indicate different pronunciations of a letter above or below which it is written. Used in the sentence, the accents and other diacritical marks we now use to write ancient Greeks are comparatively late inventions. See you in my next video. This is Teacher Anne saying, you get in life what you have the courage to ask for.
Revise them so that they would have proper capitalization. Send your answer in the comment section. And that's all about capitalization. For today's words of wisdom, give the world the best you have, and the best will come to you. Word of the day. Ragamuffin, which means poorly clothed person. Used in the sentence, the ragamuffin ran through the streets of the slum. See you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and share this video. Hi everyone! Our lesson for today is text as a connected discourse. Discourse is a formal discussion of topic, either written or spoken communication. Discourse plays a vital role in communication and in the language development process. An example of discourse is a professor meeting with the students to discuss a book. What is the importance of discourse in the society? Discourse typically emerges out of social institutions like media and politics, and by virtue of giving structure and order to language and thought, it structures and orders our lives, relationships with others, and society. In doing so, it produces much of what occurs within us and within society. Purposes of discourse: to inform. In this purpose of discourse, we provide in-depth and complete discussion of the topic. We give points on what to know about the topic. To persuade. In this purpose of discourse, we try to influence the readers that the argument is better. Thus, the claim should be considered. To entertain. This aims to provide readers with captivating amusement to be more motivated with the topic. To create. This intends to produce output through imaginative skills. Now let's proceed to the types of discourse. Argumentation. This refers to the action or process of reasoning systematically in support of an idea, action, or theory. Description. This is a discourse intended to give a mental image of something experienced. Exposition. This is a discourse designed to convey information or explain what is difficult to understand. Narration. The action or process of narrating a story. Now let's take up the difference between literary discourse and academic discourse. Literary discourse focuses on the expression of feelings, ideas, imaginations, events, and places. It also includes texts that are used strictly for business communication. Academic discourse refers to all kinds of language used and produced in academic settings by professionals and by students, in written, spoken, and online forms. This is Teacher Ann saying, either write something worth reading or do something worth writing, by Benjamin Franklin. Word of the day. Kindred, which means of a similar nature or character. Using the sentence, this study also highlights how identifying with the personality traits of a musician who feels like a kindred spirit can have positive psychological benefits for the listener. See you in our next lesson, guys! Hello everyone! For today's video, we will take up the techniques in selecting and organizing information. Let's start with organizing information through a brainstorming list. Let us read and understand the example situation, and let's observe what they did. Calice's class was tasked with the opening presentation during their high school day celebration. The score officers have already decided on a theme, and the class was simply required to decide its own concept for the performance. Calice and her classmates were involved because they all shared their own ideas. After everyone has contributed an idea, they evaluated the suggestions and decided to use Jan Snow's idea to do a musical skit. In the situation given, what Calice's group did is called brainstorming. Brainstorming is an activity or method in which people meet in a group to suggest a lot of new ideas to choose from for possible development. It helps people establish patterns of ideas, develop new ways of thinking, activate background knowledge, and overcome mental block. Now let's continue with organizing information through graphic organizers. Graphic organizers are visual representation of concepts that help us structure information into organizational pattern. Mind map is an example of graphic organizer which is used to visually organize information. Another example is Venn diagram, which is used to compare and contrast ideas and events. Flowchart, on the other hand, refers to the series of steps or events in the order. Another example is hierarchical topical order. This allows students to see the big picture, the topics, and then the facts at a glance. It can also be used for classifying topics and attributes. Writing a topic outline. Topic outline is a hierarchical list of a speech main points. It uses keywords and short phrases rather than complete sentences. There are two levels of topic outline. First is the heading, the main ideas, and are marked by Roman numerals. Second, subheadings represent the supporting ideas and are marked by capital letters. Here is an example of a topic outline on uniform policy. Written in Roman numerals are the headings, while those which are written in capital letters are the subheadings. Writing a sentence outline. Sentence outline expresses the central ideas of a speech in complete sentences. Please refer to the given examples of sentence outline. That's all for today's session. Words of wisdom. Getting organized is just easy. Staying organized requires discipline. This according to Lori Palau. Word of the day. Quiescent or quiescent, which means inactive or at rest. Used in the sentence, the prominences are of two kinds, quiescent and eruptive. I hope you learned something. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. Thank you and God bless. everyone! Welcome to my channel! In this video, we will take up the introduction to writing across the disciplines. How do we characterize good writing? We consider a well-written text when it is free of errors in grammar and punctuation, when it clearly conveys the purpose of writing, when it develops thoughts and arguments clearly, when it conforms to writing conventions of its discipline, and when it is at par with the level of formality required. In this lesson, you will be provided with an overview of the writing genres that you will most likely encounter in three academic disciplines, namely the sciences, business, and humanities. Aside from identifying the writing task as course requirements when you pursue a degree later, there is also a need for us to know the methods to acknowledge sources properly to avoid committing plagiarism. We will include in our discussion the American Psychological Association and Modern Language Association citation guides. We shall now start with writing in the sciences. People in the science field also often have the right scientific texts such as research papers, case study, laboratory report, and field report. Writing scientific papers. When writing scientific papers, remember the acronym. Objectivity. Impartiality or fairness must be observed in writing any scientific text. Jargon. Because jargons are terms that are technical, uncommon, or unfamiliar to the audience, scientific papers will require you to define terms in the text. Hypothesis is an idea or a theory that is not proven yet. In scientific writing, it must be supported by concrete evidence or experiments to test its viability and efficiency. Research is the scientific investigation and study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. Painstaking research is essential in writing scientific papers. Common types of scientific text. You now have a good idea of what constitutes good scientific text. Now let us look at commonly used types of scientific text. Case study. This is a careful and intensive study of a specific subject or variable in which scientists or researchers identify what leads to its success or failure. Laboratory report is a formal documentation of an experiment which includes the objectives, methods, and results. Field report. This writing aims to analyze behavior patterns manifested by the subject based on specific theories. Writing in business. This will assist you when you wish to apply for a job or when you would like to perform well in the workplace. The purposes of business writing are to incite action and to elicit responses. Characteristics of business writing. It has a strict format. By being knowledgeable of the appropriate format to use, you can demonstrate your professionalism. It is objective. In business writing, you may use any point of view, first, second, or third when appropriate. It is formal. Business text must use formal language. It must be clear and concise. Common writings in business include memorandum. This is commonly referred to as memo. It is a form of written communication in a corporate setting. Resume. This is a short document that shows a person's educational and professional background. Letter of request. This letter aims to convince the person in authority or in charge to grant permission for an action to be done or accomplished. Writing in the humanities. Humanities is a collective term for the arts, languages, and philosophies. It also involves literature, music, film, and history. Humanities texts are written with the following objectives: to meditate objects of human culture for its audience, and to convince or persuade. The following are the characteristics of a humanities-related text. It contains topics or claims that are debatable. It may cause counter-arguments. It uses abstract nouns and less specific word choice. It may have both denotations and connotations. It uses first-person and/or third-person pronouns. Here are some common writings in the humanities. Critique. This concerns a writer's opinion of the quality of any piece of writing or work of art, and usually written by experts. Review. Reviews may assess a particular work such as a movie, a book, or music. The American Psychological Association, or APA, and the Modern Language Association, or MLA citation guides. In writing, you must always remember to be a responsible writer. Give credit to the writers through proper citation. Citation is quoting a passage, book, or author as evidence for a justification of an argument or statement. Citation guides refer to carefully crafted formats that are used to acknowledge sources of information. In-text citations. These are also known as parenthetical citations. Keep in mind that the source of information provided in an in-text citation should correspond to the reference list. Reference list. This is usually found at the last section of a published material. It is where the sources of information are completely cited. The American Psychological Association, or APA, is commonly used in social sciences, while Modern Language Association, or MLA, is commonly used in humanities. The APA, MLA, and other formats you might encounter will typically contain the following elements: author's name, title of work, year of publication, page number, and volume or issue number or edition. And that's all for today's session, guys. Enjoy learning and writing. For today's words of wisdom, believe passionately in what you do and never knowingly compromise your standards and values. Word of the day: exhort, which means to urge strongly. Used in the sentence, they exhort the voters to do the right thing. This is Teacher Ann saying, never stop learning. Good day, everyone! For today's video presentation, we will tackle the patterns of development in writing. Patterns of development help us sort out information and shape paragraphs or essays. Let's begin with narration. A narration tells a story. It gives an account of an incident or a series of events. It states what happened, where, and when. It contains action verbs and transition words that indicate time or sequence. Here is a writing organizer for narrative. First, we must have our orientation. This sets the scene and mood. It also introduces the characters. This usually includes when, where, who, or what. Second, complication. This presents the dilemma that sets off the events. It also presents a dilemma or problem which disrupts the normal life or comfort of the characters and sets off a sequence of interesting events. The sequence of events triggered by the complication may include a description of events as they happen. It may include words like first, next, later, after. This also includes sequence of events particular to each character. Words used are while, as, meanwhile, and when. Third, resolution. This shows the climax or ending where the problem is solved. The ending shows the description of the final outcome. Description. This pattern of development in writing tells what someone or something is like. It has concrete and specific details. How to write a descriptive essay. One of the keys to writing a descriptive essay is to create a picture in your reading audience's mind by engaging all 5 of their senses: smell, sight, touch, taste, and sound. If you can do this, then your essay is a success. If not, then you have a lot of work to do. Step 1. Choose a topic. A descriptive essay will usually focus on a single event, a person, a location, or an item. Step 2. Create a statement. This is a single idea that will be prominent throughout the essay. Step 3. Create an outline. This includes the listing of details of the discussion of each paragraph. The standard 5-paragraph essay has a particular structure including the introductory paragraph with the inclusion of a thesis statement, followed by 3 body paragraphs which prove that statement. Step 4. Review your essay. Sometimes, reading something out loud can help to identify any issues that should be worked out. Step 5. Finish it up. Finally, read your essay again very carefully and check for any grammar, punctuation, or spelling errors that are obvious within the essay. You can never be too thorough when it comes to reading the essay over again and checking for any areas that need to be reworked. Definition. This explains a concept or a term. It consists of the following: the term, concept, or subject to be defined, the general class to which it belongs, the characteristics that differentiate it from the other members of its class. There are 3 steps to a powerful definition essay. Step 1. Tell readers what term is being defined. Step 2. Present clear and basic information. Step 3. Use facts, examples, or anecdotes that readers will understand. The 3 parts of definition essay are introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. Introduction. Start with one of the various techniques such as a short anecdote, an extended definition, or some open-ended questions. Your introduction should conclude with a clear, precise thesis statement that tells your readers just what the essay will discuss. All body paragraphs directly support the thesis statement. The thesis statement usually identifies the term being defined and provides a brief, basic definition. Body paragraphs. Create a thorough definition. There are several ways to define a term. Here are a few options. Define by function. This explains what something does or how something works. Define by structure. This tells how something is organized or put together. Define by analysis. This compares the term to other members of its class and then illustrate the differences. These differences are special characteristics that make the term stand out. Define by what the term does not mean. This distinction can sometimes clarify the definition. It helps readers to understand the term better. Use understandable facts, examples, or anecdotes. Select the ones that can fully explain your definition. Ask yourself, which examples will best help readers understand the term? What examples would most appeal to my readers? Will a brief story reveal the term's meaning? Do not use any examples that will not support the definition. Conclusion. Restate the thesis statement in other words. Give an overview of the main points of the paper, referring to the entire body paragraphs. Link back to the attention grabber to conclude your essay. Classification. This sorts or arranges subjects into groups or categories. The groups or categories are based on the common or shared characteristics of the subjects. Classification essay is an academic paper that classifies ideas, characters, or objects with shared characteristics into specific groups or categories. The classification essay is different than a usual essay, mainly because it involves more research. Before you start writing, you'll have to get as much information as possible and then organize it into categories. How to write a classification essay? Step 1. Get ideas. Before you start doing anything, you have to get classification essay ideas. Here are a few classification essay topics to serve as examples. Types of modern-day comedians. Types of modern literature. Types of democratic societies. People's attitudes towards money. People's attitudes towards procrastination. Step 2. Formulate the thesis statement. The thesis statement is the foundation of your classification essay. In this type of paper, the thesis statement should set certain expectations for the reader, which you'll certainly meet throughout the paper. Step 3. Plan the process. First of all, you should plan a timeline. You have a specific period of time by the deadline. Organize it in a way that allows you to add the task of essay writing without lowering your efficiency on other tasks. Once you set the time frame, it's time to start planning the outline. You just have to plan how you'll provide your ideas through these main parts of the classification essay: introduction, body, conclusion. The classification essay outline should include all supporting ideas and examples that will explain the classifications you develop. Don't forget to include your thesis statement at the end of the introduction. Step 4. Do more research. Take your time to do some more research. When you cite reliable and authoritative resources in your paper, it will be more trustworthy. Step 5. Write the classification paper. You already have all info and ideas you want to include in the essay. You already have the outline. Now all you need to do is connect all those points in a coherent paper. Introduction. In the introductory paragraph, you should clearly identify the subject. You can attract the interest of your reader if you offer descriptive or informative details regarding the topic. Body paragraphs. Format the body of your essay in accordance with the number of categories you'll explore. Be very specific and on point. Start each paragraph of the body with a topic sentence. You may start with the most common and proceed with the less familiar approaches, or start with the least effective and move towards the most effective approach. Maintain the logical progression. Conclusion. Summarize all points of your paper in a clear conclusion. Mention the various types and approaches you've enlisted in your paper. You may include a final comment on each one, but make sure it's brief and non-repetitive. Step 6. Do the revisions. Read the entire essay. Clarify your message. Get rid of all unnecessary or overly complex words and phrases. Finally, proofread. Read every single word and sentence and make sure it's grammatically correct. The classification essay needs a clear message and extremely neat organization. Remember, you must start as soon as possible if you want to go through this entire process with no trouble. Are you ready? Of course you are. Exemplification. This shows, proves, or explains a general idea or point. The main idea is explained by examples. There are 10 simple steps to writing an exemplification essay. Step 1. Choose a topic. Your topic should satisfy at least one of the following: current, specific, useful, unique. Such topics are attractive to the readers as they think that they'll get new, unusual, or up-to-date information from your text. Step 2. Provide research. No research, no material. Your options are scientific journals, reputable newspapers and news agencies, educational websites, and non-fiction books. Step 3. Choose appropriate examples. Keep in mind that your examples should not only be interesting but applicable. Step 4. Compose an outline. Think about your thesis statement. Put your examples in a logical order. Develop smooth transitions. Use the 5-paragraph structure. 1 paragraph for the introduction, 1 for the conclusion, and 3 paragraphs for the main body. 1 paragraph equals 1 idea plus example. Step 5. Write the main body. Each paragraph of the main body should consist of a topic sentence, transition, and example. Example: vitamins are good for your health. However, they can be harmful to your body. For example, hypervitaminosis D can cause vomiting, muscle weakness, and fatigue. Step 6. Write an introduction. Your introduction has 3 functions: to attract, to prepare, and to interest. The first sentence is your hook. Draw attention of your readers with a bold statement, unbelievable statistics, or a rhetorical question. Next, provide your readers with background information on the topic. Last but not the least, write your thesis statement. Remember that your thesis statement reflects the structure of the whole essay and should be relevant to each example. Step 7. Write a conclusion. The conclusion covers about 10% of your essay. First, paraphrase your thesis statement to remind your readers what was it all about. Then, restate briefly each section to remind them of your examples. Finally, compose your concluding sentence so that your readers won't have a question in mind like, "So what?" Step 8. Have some rest. Your brain won't be able to move forward without a short break. Step 9. Proofread and edit your essay. Read your text and find all the weak sections. Repeat the whole process. Bring it to perfection. Step 10. Get feedback. You don't have to care about someone else's opinion all the time, but when it comes to writing, critics might be useful. Ready to write? Here are examples of exemplification essay topics. First, how have cell phones changed interpersonal communication? Second, a positive impact of social media to teenagers. Third, can online education replace traditional education? Fourth, is being optimistic better than being realistic? And fifth, how can music influence our mentality? That's all for today. Enjoy writing! For today's words of wisdom, every secret of a writer's soul, every experience of his life, every quality of his mind is written large in his works. Word of the day. Indict, which means make up or compose, to give literary or formal expression to, or to put down in writing. Used in the sentence, this essay is written just for trying to indict article in English. See you in the next video!